Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sip and Savor hour of the Simeon Henderson Show, where we are giving a voice to the people. I hope you got something to sip on. I got something to sip on. And I am going to be live with my brother, Jumaane and NNamdi, from the art gallery. And it's going down. So I hope you guys are ready to have a good time and learn a little bit about art. And I hope you guys are doing good during this pandemic and everything, because it's been one of those things where it's a lot to deal with. And if you guys have any art questions, you will be able to, I'm going to put in a link and you can click the link and you can come on and you can ask any questions that you have for Jumaane when it comes to art. And you guys will be able to be in tune with what's going on. So I will put it in right now. So you guys will have the opportunity to ask questions, and you can come in if you choose to, and it should be a fun time. Let me put it in for you guys real quick. I'm putting the link in, and you guys will be able to join us and ask your questions. So the link is going up right. Let's make sure it's right. All right, I put the link up. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. It's been interesting dealing with the pandemic, and people are what's the word I'm looking for? People are getting nervous. People are getting antsy. People are getting a little uneasy with this whole staying in the house thing and the quarantine and the social distancing and not being able to move around like they normally do. But I just want to encourage you guys to understand that this is something that's happening, and it's something that we have to deal with just for right now, because this too shall pass. There's one good thing going on right now. Sunday they showed The Last Dance, and it was so dope. And I'm just having fun. So guys, I'm about to bring Jumaane on. So we're going to get into this interview and see where he is and what he's doing. There he is.
What's up? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. How's everything?
All right. Good. So, I can't believe you got me doing this, Simeon.
Hey man, you know that's what I do, right? I got to give a voice to the people, all the people, even the people that don't want to speak out loud.
So, yes, thank you.
So were you able to share it on your page?
Yeah, I believe I did, right? Yes, I believe I did.
So we got your people in tune so they can see what's going on. But everybody, you're watching the Sip and Savor hour and of the Simeon Henderson Show. And this is actually my executive producer, Mr. Jumaane and NNamdi, everybody. You guys always hear me mention him on the show, him and Jose Perez. And this is Jumaane. You guys have seen Jose. Now you get to see Jumaane after over a year, right? So Jumaane,
let me have a seat, I guess.
Okay, so go ahead and have a seat, brother. So I want to get into it, right? So one thing that I like about what you do, you are an art gallery owner, right? You are a lover of art, and let's get into this.
Ooh, I got some bags under my eyes, Simeon. Gee whiz, I need a makeup artist over here.
Hey, don't worry about it. It's COVID-19, so you're all right. If you can ever get away with it, you can get away with it right now.
I'll keep a nice distance on the phone. You know
no, you're good, man. Nobody's paying attention to that. So let me ask you this. So,
yeah,
if I can recollect and think, I think you started your love for art at the age of about 6, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, my father started his first gallery back in '81, so so art's been a part of my life, my whole life, basically.
Okay.
So he opened his, yeah.
So you were introduced to art by your father, George.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So and he founded what was it, GR and NNamdi gallery in Detroit, Michigan.
Correct.
So now here we go. What was your father's? Because I know you talked to your dad. I still have the one magazine that you guys were in. I have the
Yeah.
magazine that you guys are in. So you know your dad better than anybody. Um, what was his? What started his love for art?
Well, my father was a psychologist, okay?
Uh
He
huh.
was a developmental psychologist. And, we were growing up in Detroit, and he was a professor at University of Michigan. And one thing he felt was missing with the African American community
Mm-hmm.
was an understanding of their culture
Right.
and having a foundation in culture. Because most cultures, they know kind of where they came from. I'm not talking about exactly like, oh, I came from Africa first, like that, but they have some kind of foundation in their culture that they can reach back to. Kind
Right.
of like you go to China and people got Great Walls of China or these ruins and things like that. African Americans, we've kind of been taught like we've come from just enslavement,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're really not like these people with this history and this culture. So what he felt was that what he should do for the people was allow them the opportunity to see art and see their culture in the arts, but not only that, but actually collect it and preserve it themselves.
Right. Okay.
Be a part of the ones who will make sure art's around for generations to come. So that's really where it came from. It was strictly like a mental health standpoint. I mean, he appreciated art. He would collect art. He bought his first pieces in college and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But his main thing was just really trying to get the culture to understand who they were through the arts.
So the weird thing is this: when you think about our culture, well, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and art wasn't prevalent where I grew up at. So I didn't really know about art. Art wasn't important to me. I didn't understand the history of art. I didn't understand the knowledge and the power of art growing up. It wasn't until I got older that I got an appreciation and love for art. And then even when I met you 20 years ago and I started coming to your art gallery, that's when I really started getting open to the idea of art. And I think what you're doing, what your dad started, and what you're doing as you picked up the torch, and you guys are running this race together right now. I think what you guys are doing are being an influence on our community and exposing us in ways that we had never been exposed. Because now we see a lot of African American artists. So what is it like for you? Because I know you work with all artists. What is it like for you to really work with these established artists and up and coming artists?
Well, I mean, working with established artists has been great because when my father started, a lot of these artists were kind of like mid-career artists. I mean, they were doing great things. They're in museums and things like that. So I got to grow up around them and grow up around basically when art was just, I mean, not that it's not like this now, but it was, people were doing it strictly just because they loved it, because people weren't collecting it like that. So
Right.
you got to meet a lot of artists that was kind of like maybe you meet a lot of Motown singers back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got paid and all that, but money wasn't like it is now. So these were the same people, like, yeah, they sing in the studio, they make albums, but at the same time they're singing, at the local small clubs or at home or whatever. I'm just saying, you got a chance to be around this generation of artists who just were shaping the African American experience through the arts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And now what I do with the younger artists I meet is that, the art world's different now. People buy a lot of art, there's sales going on all the time. There's a lot of like money being transferred. So it's a business more so now than even it was then,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. But I also try to, my younger artists, expose them to or tell them stories about how the previous generations were, so they know they're part of something
Mm-hmm.
that's more than just them. Like, this has been going around for decades,
Mm-hmm.
centuries. So it's so that's kind of, I try to bridge both of those gaps, because a lot of people don't have the opportunities that I had to know what it's like to be around those master artists and things like that, because a lot of them have passed away now.
Right.
So I try to just kind of connect. I try to be the connection between the young and the old.
Mm-hmm. So what was it like when you and your dad decided to open up the art gallery in Chicago? What was that like? What was that conversation like? Because you guys were established in Michigan, right?
You want that conversation? No,
no, not the whole conversation.
What happened with Chicago was this. My father, all right, so my father opened.
Go ahead. I just want to know what it was like because you guys had the.
Oh, you went out.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. So basically, like this. My father had Detroit. Okay.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So my father had the Detroit gallery, and he was like, "Well, you know, I want to open another gallery somewhere." Mm-hmm. He said, "Well, I can drive from Chicago to Detroit in 4 hours. So let me just open one in Chicago." It was really random like that. Right. It was just kind of like, where could I go that I can get there and get back in a day, mm-hmm. and I can work both places. Right. So he opened Chicago, and I was in school. It was my senior year that he opened it at Morehouse. Okay. So upon graduation, I moved straight to Chicago to run that gallery. Right. So, which I'm glad he opened in Chicago because for one, Chicago, it's a lot of culture in Chicago. Yeah. And like how you said, you grew up on the West Side, you didn't see the art, blah, blah, blah. So this whole agenda was still very relevant mm-hmm. in a city like Chicago. Right. To open up the space. Right. So, so it ended up being just a great city for that, great people. And like you said, exposing people such as yourself to what's right there behind, in their front door, Yeah. Exactly. Because it's not like when you said the arts, you didn't see the arts. It wasn't like they weren't there. Right. It was just that nobody was necessarily saying, Simeon, get over here and look at these paintings and right. see your culture. I mean, even though people were, I know, Isabel Neal Gallery was there. Yeah, Nicole Gallery was there, but it still wasn't enough. So we had to keep on being part of the team of galleries and people and cultural activists who are just bringing this to the people. Exactly. And I feel that with art and when you have a gallery, I think location is so key, right? And so the location that you guys were in over on Green Street, right off Randolph, over by Oprah Winfrey Studios, in between Peoria. We're Peoria Street, right next to Green Street. On Peoria. Yeah. I'm sorry. It was on Peoria, which was between Halsted. It was between Halsted and Randolph and Madison. So you're in a prime area, and I'm talking about it's multicultural. There's money over there. So now you have people walking by this art gallery and they're seeing this art. They're stopping in, they're looking, and they're inquiring. So how important to you guys was it to be in a location like that? Well, one thing about in the art business, you also got to deal with, you really got to be in the real estate business too. Okay. Right. Just because, you do the art, but at the same time, it's art is not just about like, hey, how much can I sell? So you really won't sell a lot of art like that. Mm-hmm. Or you have to be prepared not to sell a lot of art like that. So that way, so real estate becomes important because you also have to have another piece of, another investment that's building with your business. Exactly. So one reason we went over there is because first we were in River North. I don't even think yeah. Matter of fact, when we did Love Shorts, we were in River North at that time. Okay. On Huron Street. On Huron. And yeah, we were there first. And we went there because that was where the art district was. Exactly. Because that's also part of it. You got to go to where the people are looking for art. Exactly. So we went to River North first. And then West Loop was starting to build this new area for the arts and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, we just have to be forward thinking and get out there and go. Because when we got there, it was growing, but it's not like it is now, True. It's, and so like even for my space in Miami, I first came out here and found the hottest art district, that's Wynwood. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of developed into, Wynwood became more restaurants and bars and all that, which is cool. Kind of like River North, that is River North and West Loop. Uh-huh. And now we moved to an area called Little Haiti. So over here, I bought my building so that I could be a part of this whole development that's going on here. Because now everybody's moving over. Hey, so.
Right, exactly, and they love art. They love art. I think when you make, so now we went from Michigan, you guys opened up in Detroit. I mean, I'm sorry, Michigan opened up in Chicago, and then you guys decided, hey, I'm going to go to Miami. I'm going to go to.
Well,
Miami.
we went to New York too.
You did go to New York. I remember. Yes, you did. So
yeah, went to New York.
So what was? So now we're taking the steps. So what was it like when you went to New York?
Well, New York was. It's okay to move around, right? or you're dizzy over there.
No, the volume is perfect.
Okay.
The volume is perfect, and you look fine. You're good.
All right, I didn't know if I was moving too much. I'm trying to show a little bit of it.
Don't worry. In a minute, I'm going to have you take us on a tour. And show some of the art.
And I'm hot. I've been outside. It's 90 degrees out here.
I'm in Chicago and I'm drinking tea.
So yeah, New York. New York was a good place because we did a lot of business out there. So we had Chicago and New York for the same time for about 10 years, and that was cool. What it was interesting about New York though was that it did feel like straight business. See, I'm used to going to people's homes, chilling out, relaxing.
Right.
And you do that in New York, but at the same time, it's hustle and bustle, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then I was just so tired. I was like, man, I'm going back and forth from Chicago to New York. I don't even know what city I'm in half the time. Because that wasn't like driving from Detroit. That was not like Detroit and Chicago. Chicago, New York is a straight up airplane, airport, you know, like it was something else.
Right.
So so we did that for about 10 years. And then I just eventually said, you know, I got the same clients. I'm just going to stop with New York and just focus on Chicago. Mm-hmm. Now I got lucky though, because when I closed New York Gallery, they had the economy crash right after that.
Okay.
So I didn't, of course, know that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But when I got out, couple months later, everybody had to get out because the economy had crashed. So It really ended up being perfect timing. So then after that, so I was in Chicago, and then it was around 2012. I said, okay, now I'm ready to because see, the Chicago Gallery is technically my father's gallery. Right. All right, which is fine. I think it's super important to continue family businesses and work and blah blah blah. You know, but I was just like, where do I want to do now? You know, right. Where do I want to go? And I really wanted to go somewhere. I wanted to leave the country. I was like, that would be a cool experience. Because one thing you learn, or you should learn, or see later in life, that you can do whatever you want to do, go wherever you want to go. A lot of people don't because they think they have to be somewhere. But I was like, what do I want to do? So I said, I want to leave the country, but I have to go somewhere where I can learn the language and be able to be an art dealer. Right. And I said, I want to learn Spanish. And I was like, I said, I can learn Spanish and go somewhere. But I'm like, where can I go speaking Spanish that I want to live in that I can sell art out of the country? Mm-hmm. Then my buddy from college, IA is Sean. He said, he was in Miami, right? He said, man, just come to Miami. And I said, man, he come to Miami. all we do is party in Miami. Like, I didn't even know they worked in Miami. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, no, trust me, it's cool. So I came out here and I saw the culture. I saw all the different cultures out here. I saw how they appreciated art. It was mind blowing. Like, I was like, wow. So I just moved out. I just moved, just packed up, boom, hit Miami. So te hablo español? And it's just been great. Te hablo español? No, my daughter speaks Spanish. So you don't give up, because somebody along the lines will pick up your dreams. my kids speak Spanish a lot now. You know, so she speaks Spanish. She's very. I mean, my daughter speaks it like she speaks English. Right. Well, that's because we never. You started her. You started her early. That's the best time to learn. Oh, yeah, since she was before she could speak Spanish, before she could speak period, or English or whatever, Spanish was being spoken to her. Your nanny speaks Spanish to her? Yes. Yeah. And she doesn't speak English. So, you know,
Jumane's being modest. He's being modest.
You said what?
I said, you're being modest. You didn't want to say, well, you know, the nanny speaks Spanish to her all the time. You didn't want to say that. It's okay. It's okay. But I could totally see moving to Miami for the arts. I could totally see that because, you know, I've been fortunate enough to go to Miami. I was down there. I think I sent you a picture of when we were in Miami years ago for the ABFF for the movie Love Shorts, which you produced, you and your time on that. And we were down there. But being in Miami, there's a palette. The culture is so, there's a variety of culture, and art is just beautiful in Miami. So art would be fitting. Art is just fitting in Miami. So I could totally see, like when we went to the clubs and things like that, there's all these curtains and statues and different decorations. So it's a beautiful place, and I think it's perfect for art.
Yeah, I mean, just the appreciation coming from so many different points of views. You know, so many different cultures have so many different ways they look at it, what they appreciate. So what happens is you get, like, I would bring art out here. Put it this way: when I would have my gallery, no one would ever come in the gallery and say, "Oh, is this black art?" Right. They just will come in and appreciate it, like the abstraction and all that. They will just come in and just say, "Wow, this is so cool." Right. So that's what, you know, I really appreciate it. And, like, you know, just I mean, the clients come from all around the world. Right. Here. I mean, I've sold pieces to people from all around, literally all around the world.
So speaking of all around the world, so we get to watch you on Instagram. If you guys
see, now you got me sweating when you mentioned my Instagram.
Hey, so if you guys want to see something, if you guys want to see some cool stuff and just see a whole bunch of different things, activities, go to Jumane's Instagram, which is up on the screen after the interview. He's been doing stuff, whether it was for the Super Bowl, All-Star Weekend, whether he's hanging out with Kanye West, whether he's, I mean, at the Miami Heat games, you know, sitting right behind Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. But you've been privy to a lot of things that people aren't exposed to. And what is that like for you, being in the art world, and who are some of the top people that we know in the entertainment or sports field that you sold art to?
I don't know. See, you know, as an art dealer, I never divulge my clientele. Okay.
Well, okay. Wait, so you can't say who you sold art to?
I don't know.
You can. That's just like you saying, well, I sold art to Simeon, or I sold art to Jordan.
I'll tell you this. You know what's interesting? I'll tell you, art is such a personal thing to people. You'll be surprised the way people feel about the art they collect. You know, it's super personal to them. Like, a lot of people you even see on Instagram and all that, entertainers, athletes, and all that, they have art collections, right? But they don't post anything. Okay. I got some guys, and they're like, nah, I don't ever want to put that on Instagram because I don't want. I don't know. I mean, even me, you know, I have art. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking here too, going around my office here. But even though I have art, I don't. Some reason my personal work, I never posted. But no, a lot of celebrities and stuff, they don't want people to know what they got. And I definitely ain't gonna be the first person to tell.
Hey, I asked the question. You can't get mad for asking. I don't have to answer, but I can't ask, right?
They could be watching. They'd be like, man, he better not say my name. I don't want nobody to know I got
that. So, okay, well, do me this right now. So you're in the art gallery. Why don't you show us a few pieces? Yeah. Why don't you show us a few pieces and kind of explain to us what the piece is and who the artist is?
All right, so, you know, we've been on quarantine, so you're gonna see a lot of extra stuff everywhere.
Okay.
So you're gonna see my video. You're gonna see my video game, and let me see if I can.
I saw that stand-up video game. What game is that?
That's Mortal Kombat. I bought Pac-Man and I bought Mortal Kombat, and my wife said, "No, we can't hang Mortal Kombat at home. We don't want our daughter just beating up people all day, you know."
Bro.
So I got Pac-Man at home, and then the Mortal Kombat I brought to the gallery. So I was like, I can do this by myself. You know what I mean?
I was sitting
Let me
here.
see. Let me see if I can flip this.
I was sitting here watching you, and I got jealous because you don't know how many I saw it. You don't know how many times I've gone into a place that has Miss Pac-Man, and I wanted to take it home so bad. They have the ones that's not as big, and
Right.
they have the one with Miss Pac-Man and Galaga on it. Galaga.
Yes.
I love those two games. I will play them forever.
Yeah, because it's big enough, but it ain't too big. You know?
Exactly. So let us see some of this art that you have in the gallery.
So this exhibition's artist Stephan Arbois. He's from New York, but he lives here in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He's a first generation Haitian American.
Okay.
He works with coffee. So he pours his coffee down, and then he starts moving the paper, creating these forms. Goes in here and sketches, and he takes these different rags and he would like dab the coffee mixed with some acrylics on the pieces.
Right.
And then from there, when they dried up, what happened was he realized when they were drying up, he had a whole pile of paper towel in the corner of his studio. And he said, "Wait a minute, I can do something with that." So he started incorporating it and collaging it on the work.
Are you serious? So this piece is from paper towel and coffee?
It's paper, but then he does a coffee on top. So all these splatters and this movement is all coffee. And then these color blotches are all collaged.
Wow.
With different paper towel. And I have, this one is all abstract ones. I got these boxes here. These are pieces supposed to be shipped out. Mm-hmm. But with the coronavirus, we have to wait. Nah, that's some serious stuff.
Wow.
Matter of fact, this one will be a good, you can kind of.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's abstract, right?
Yeah.
See, I know a little bit about art. Funny thing is this, Jumaane, and I think I told you the story. Growing up, I couldn't draw. The only thing I can draw was stick people, right?
That's my long guy out there. He was cleaning up outside. Only thing you can draw is what?
Only thing I can draw was stick people. So So I was so frustrated. So when I went to college, there was a painting class. So I decided to take this painting class. And that I'm not a good, I can't draw, but my thing was painting. So I would do these oil paintings. I worked on 2 murals. So I found my niche. My niche was oil paintings and not drawing. How some people can sketch and draw. I couldn't do that, but I could do oil paintings.
Okay.
You know, because you don't have to be as meticulous and as neat, and that was where I found my niche. And I ended up getting my minor in art, got my degree in education and my minor in art. So that's where I developed my love for art, because I would be envious of all the people that could draw really good. And I was mad because I couldn't do anything but draw stick people. So it was a thing that I had to do. I had to find something with art that I could do in order to feel better about myself.
Well, that's the thing about art, is that technically, whatever we have gallery cats, if you see this.
That's a big cat.
Yeah, man, we got gallery cats, we got dogs at the crib, we got, don't ask me. But basically, the thing about art is that even the stick figure is fine. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is art is whatever you're creating. And I would say this, for people with children who are at home and they're drawing and the face looks funny, quote unquote, or this and the other. Understand that art is whatever you're creating.
Right.
So don't feel like what discourages a lot of kids, a lot of people who could potentially grow up to be great artists, is that when they do draw a person, people say that don't look like something. Or if they draw a house, they're like, that don't look like a house. But nothing looks like a house but a house. You know what I'm saying? That looks like, if I drew you, I mean, I could try, but if I'm going to draw you exactly how you look, I might as well just take a picture, you know?
Right. Exactly.
So you really want to make sure you work with people's creativity, so that way they, you know, because you never know what's going to evolve from that. I mean, my daughter, man, she'll grab a pile of dirt, pile it up, and say, "Look, Daddy, art." Yeah, but that's cool because hey, there's artists out here who actually do that.
And artists,
professional established museum held artists who have dirt in the corner of a museum. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta leave that creativity open.
Right. And
this is a piece by this guy, NNamdi. I'm gonna show you this here.
Oh wow. Is that your daughter?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
NNamdi Dorsey, he's a black art in America. Matter of fact, you check that out, Black Art in America. Black Art in America.
I'm going.
Yeah, I would suggest that for all the people watching. Check out Black Art in America. They got some cool work on there, real informative about what's going on in the art world. Talks about the masters all the way down to the emerging artists. So the founder NNamdi, he I commissioned this from my.
I'm putting that up so people can. I'm putting it up so people can see it. That's the cool
I think
thing.
it's BAIA at BAIA.
Say that again. Say that again.
Say again.
What did you say? At BIA?
Oh, BAIA. BAIA.
That's the Instagram?
Black Art in America.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's BAIA. Yeah. At BAIA.
Okay. Cool. I like the thing I love about this new format for the show is that
you said what?
The thing I love about the new format for the show,
man,
since we upgraded,
you know, I got
we can put this in there.
I got that shoddy Wi-Fi I can see.
We can put it in. See it's in there now. It says check out Black Art in America.
Oh and yeah, well look at you.
So
fancy.
We can put the stuff up so our viewers, they can go check out what we need them to check out.
I think they're gonna appreciate that. They're gonna appreciate Black Art in America.
Black Art in America.
But especially, you know, you're getting into collecting, you want to learn more about it and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this. So we're dealing. So you've been talking about how you started in the different art galleries and the different cities you've been in. We're right here in this moment with dealing with the pandemic. You have a wife and a daughter, and you have a business, and this whole epidemic is going on. How have you been coping with it?
Well, you know what? It's part of the quarantining part hasn't been too foreign to me. Just being home, just because, you know, we were building this building, this space,
right?
And for a moment we didn't have a place to go anyway, you know. So,
right.
So for a few months we were just like working from home, being home, Right. Did I lose you for a second?
For a quick second. You were in a bad area.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, for a minute it went out. So that part wasn't super foreign, just being home. I think the biggest thing is taking it seriously. Even if you don't take it seriously, take it seriously still. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what we've been doing, honestly, man, we've been in the pool every day, swimming. Yeah. My daughter, right before this whole situation happened, she had to wear floaties, could not swim. Now she is like an Olympic swimmer. And that's for real. Like floaties, she don't want to see no floaties.
Right.
Floaties are done. I mean, before we had to like hold her when she was swim. Now she's like, let me go. You know what I mean? So that's been really cool, just seeing her progress. I mean, now she drops stuff on the bottom of the pool, dives down and gets it. I mean, bro, she didn't want to get her hair wet. Before. She didn't want to. I don't know where I see now. I'm like, how'd you get that? This boy, it's just in the DNA. She's like, don't wet my hair. But yeah, so basically just enjoying family time. And I also took out all my hobbies, my remote control cars I build, my DJ equipment, got a sewing machine. You know, all the things that I even have done in my life, I'm doing now. I pulled out everything so that when I get bored of anything, I can just go to the next thing.
Exactly. And so
it's been, I think, and also, I mean, I got to say, being in Miami has been great because the weather's nice. I mean, we walk the dogs we do about 4 or 5 miles every day. The whole family put our music in. And our daughter just either she walks or then I'm so happy she doesn't mind getting in her stroller. We got a big stroller. So that's cool. And she gets in that. And so that's our routine. We know, okay, at the end of the day, we take her for this walk and she's going to be asleep. And then we put her in the bed when we get home. The problem is you got to time that right, because if she gets home too early and she falls asleep, you think you got her because you're like, ooh, it's 7:30. She's asleep. Then she'll wake up at 11 and you're like, oh shit, we got 4 more hours.
That's funny.
You know, but it's been you know, it's been cool. You know, it's been good. I've been trying to buy stocks. That's a scary world.
So I'm trying to get into that too. So you're gonna have to teach me about that. So I did the thing, the little Robin Hood.
I don't know. I woke up this morning like sell. I feel like
I did the little Robin Hood thing.
You said what?
The little Robin Hood stocks.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It was. I did it. You go on. It's an app. It's called Robin Hood, and I got a stock. You know, a low stock. I got it just because I'm like, okay, let me try it, and then they give you a free one. So it's funny. I get these alerts on my phone that shows today it went up or today it went down, and I just want to learn that whole aspect. How important do you think it is for Black people or to invest and own and have ownership in something?
Oh, I mean, I think that's number one. I think what happens is I feel like, and this could be everybody, but you said Black, so we're gonna deal with us.
Yeah, and it's for everyone, but I'm just being particular right now for this point.
No, I understand. But this might even be more dedicated to African Americans anyway. What I'm about to say is that since we are such a new culture, because people don't understand that African Americans technically it's a very new culture. I mean, people, you know, Chinese been around here for centuries. You know, technically we ain't been around here that long as African Americans.
Right.
So we have to build our legacy.
Right.
And part of building your legacy is not building it for yourself.
True.
You're not even really building it. You're not even building it for your kids. Mm-hmm. You're building it for like your grandkids, your great grandkids. So if everybody focused on how do I build something for my great grandkids, mm-hmm. then every generation is going to be good.
Okay.
So like part of it is we have to, children, because it will come.
Yeah.
I mean, because most people you look at right now around the world, if you say, oh, they're so that person's so wealthy or this, that, and the other. A lot of times, I mean, of course, you got these billionaires that just popped up with tech and stuff like that. But a lot of times things have come from generations.
Yeah.
So you have to not always worry about what you're going to get out of something. Mm-hmm. And say, like somebody could, like a stock, for instance, somebody could say, well, if I buy this, or get this mutual fund, I won't have any real money in it until I'm 80 years old.
Right.
Yeah, but when you're 80, your grandkid might be 20.
That's true.
You know, so yeah, you may not be able to do anything with the money at 80, but your grandkid will be 20, and you know, and it just keeps growing from there. So I think we have to really start to think about future generations,
right,
and not instant gratification.
Yeah. And they'll appreciate you for it, and that's how you build your legacy. So when granddad,
wouldn't we all wish we could just say right now, oh yeah, my great grandfather left me $3 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when your great grandfather put the money up, it wasn't $3 million.
Exactly.
It just so happens that after 3 more generations, now it's $3 million.
Exactly.
You know, but wouldn't we all love to say that? I mean, wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? I mean, the money wouldn't be wasted. It wouldn't be all in vain. It will be great. Now, is he here to see it? No, but that's okay, because now, generations from now, everybody's going to be able to say that.
Yeah.
So I think ownership is important. I mean, you know, of course, home ownership is great. Property is great. Mm-hmm. Art is great. I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, people are collecting art.
Right.
A lot of times people think that's just some kind of made up kind of investment. I'm like, first of all, art, at the end of the day, let's say right now with this whole pandemic, the government, they say, you know what, we're going to switch to a new currency. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be something like how they were talking about. I heard something about a one currency for the whole world or something like that, right? Uh-huh. Let's just say all of it or say with the money being pushed into the economy, the dollar just started going down. It was worth nothing. Mm-hmm. The one thing I can guarantee that's going to have a value would be art. Right. Even if they did something where everybody lost their property because, you know, it became like, oh, everybody, your property is gone. We're taking their property because, you know, in eminent domain, like, oh, we got to put a highway or we have to put a hospital or some end of the world type shit. You know, at the end of the day, art will have a value. Right. Because you only know about life through art. Yeah, that makes sense. Art's the only, everything we know about the past, yes, comes from art. Yeah, true. True. Pictures about the war. People study art. They study art, they write it down, and then you read about it like it's history. But it all came from art. They all looked at something, decided what it was about, wrote it, then you read it. And believed it. Because that was the documentation of civilization. That's how they documented civilization. So we think we're just putting pretty pictures on the wall, but you really are preserving your culture so that story can be told in the future. Right. I give you an example. Even things that weren't art, they only became valuable when they became art. Okay. So somebody can have a T-shirt, like you can say, like if Martin Luther King, you had one of Martin Luther King's suits that he wore. It's just a suit, but now it's valuable because you would frame it up, put it on the wall, and say this is Martin Luther King's suit. Now it's art. You know? Yeah. You wouldn't put it in the closet and say that's a suit that wore by Martin Luther King. I may wear it one day. Like, no, man, you can't wear that. That's an art piece. Right. Frame that up. Exactly. Put it on the wall, you know? So, like, I think about the power of owning the arts and owning your culture, because in the future, when people want to tell your story, that's where they're going to go to. Right. All right. No matter how you look at it, they're going to go to the arts to tell the story. That's why it's so important when the way art is being distributed, pushed, promoted, because if you don't own it, you can be considered whoever owns the art form wants you to be considered as. Let's say, like me and you probably spend more time showing or proving not that we really care or deal with it, but proving that we're not thugs than we do that I'm an art dealer,
Right.
and you're a teacher and a TV show host. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we walk down the street, I'll have a harder time to prove I'm not a thug.
Exactly.
No one's going to say, oh, look at that guy. It kind of looks like an art dealer to me. No.
Right.
Why is that? Why is that? Because of the arts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
true.
the art forms that are out here that our kids see, the generation see, are going to dictate how people see it. So until you own the art forms, until there's a truckload of movies out here of brothers being art dealers,
right.
people in Asia won't see us as art dealers because they're looking at art. Yeah. Or until there's rap songs all about like, I'm teaching every day and I'm making art, and I'm teaching and I'm making art every day. Until that, we're not going to be those things to people because they are hearing the arts. So that's why it's very important to own and preserve your own culture, so that when that story is being told, you control it. I'll give you an example. If you go to a museum, right? Like say it's a history museum or something like that.
Right.
And they're talking about life and of the African American, right? And it starts off with chains. You know, chains like shackles.
Shackles.
All right, so that's deep, right? We're looking at that, damn, all right, shackles. And then you go through and then you see, okay, no more shackles. Oh, you got some Jim Crow, you got this, you got, you know, now we're getting better. We're like Oprah, we're Martin Luther King. Now we're Oprah, we're Michael Jordan, we're moving forward, right? Which is cool. Right. It's like, oh, good. Life is getting better, moving forward. But the whole underlying thing of that is you're really just trying to run as far as you can away from those shackles, right? That's why you get excited when you see the Michael Jordan in the museum, because you know he's far from those shackles you saw in the beginning, right? Yeah. So we'll keep moving forward. But whoever owns those shackles, who put them in there for all those centuries, who kept those shackles, best believe they have the jewels and the beautiful clothing that the person had on before they put the shackles on them. Wow. Because why would you keep some old dirty shackles, but you wouldn't keep like a nice necklace? Exactly. That's true. That makes sense. Or a nice headpiece, but you're going to keep some old dirty shackles? Like, I mean, think about it. Think about it. When you go to jail, I mean, every brother's been to jail at least once, even if they didn't do it. No, no, for real. When you go to jail, they take their stuff, put it in that bag that I heard about. Don't know what this is, but I heard about it. And they put it in that bag, shrink wrap it, preserve it, then give you some other, and then boom, you're on your way, right? Right. Now, if they were telling your story, do you think they're gonna show them clothes you came in there with? No, they're gonna just show you in that jumpsuit. That jumpsuit, right. They're just gonna show you in that jumpsuit, but they're gonna keep that stuff. Right. So back to the museum. Back to the museum. You'll see what I'm saying about this. So if the person who now has those garments that they didn't show the people, they just showed the shackles. If they had showed those garments first, so now you got the jewels, the nice garments, blah, blah, blah. Then you had the shackles, because like, damn, that did happen. And then you go on and go on. You got Martin Luther King, you got Oprah, you got Jordan, right? If you had those garments first, now the whole agenda is not to run from the shackles, right? But to get back to the beautiful garments. To say, let me get back to who I am. Okay. Because I was Jordan already. Right. You know, don't make it like Jordan just showed up. Right. There was a Jordan 400 years ago, 500,000 years. There was another Jordan then. Yeah. So don't make it seem like I'm just this, like I was just a cell that just evolved and now I'm becoming human now. Like, no. I was that before. Right. Like you just, and then this situation happened. And now I'm getting back to who I am. But that comes from owning art, because all the stories that are being told, like I said, are coming through the preservation of culture and art. So somebody was preserving what they wanted you to see as your culture, but they didn't show you everything that was really being preserved, because that doesn't fit the narrative. That
makes sense. I like that. I like that analogy. I think that's something.
This makes sense to you, Simeon?
I do. I like that analogy. I like it a lot. And that's the thing I like about art. Art tells stories. Art tells history, and you can use it.
Yeah.
And compare it to now, and understand that everything that happened then, or everything that happens now, it happened before. There were successful people before. You know, there were athletic people before. There were business owners before.
Yeah, but you don't. So the thing about it is, even though you may look at something and say, well, how can you tell that by just looking at a picture? It's not just about that one picture. It's all the pictures. It's about the creativity. It's about the intellect. I'll give you an example. Hey, let me ask you this. Is my thing going out sometimes?
It did. It depends on where you go.
Oh, I just want to make sure, because I see it going black here, and make sure it's happening over there too.
For this last 5 minutes, stay right there.
It's going to do it anyway.
Not right there.
So this you do. So I got like a guy, Ed Clark, is one of my father's.
Oh, I did it.
My father's first artist, beautiful guy. So he's abstract painter. He paints with a push broom. But he's the first artist to ever paint outside of a square or an oval.
Wow.
So when you see, if you go to a museum, everything is going to be a square, or it's going to be a rectangle or oval until the late 50s, really 60s, because he did it back in 56.
Okay.
Because he was making a piece, and then he needed to add more paint, but he had to add it to the paper instead of the canvas, because the canvas soaked up too much paint. He was like, I can't afford to lose all that paint. I got to put it on paper, then put it on the canvas so I can paint thinner.
Okay.
But the paper kept falling off the edge of the canvas.
Okay.
So he liked the way it looked off the edge. He never seen that before, like a piece that wasn't an exact square. So he glued it down and then built it up. So he made that the canvas. So although it's abstract, it's still showing the intellect, because abstraction really is the closest thing to like your intellect. It's like science, you know what I mean? Because you really are creating, it's like jazz. You know, you're taking these instruments or these tools, and then you are creating something new with them. The way I have my man working with the coffee and the paper towels, all these pigments. So people don't understand that it's always telling the story. Even if it's not an actual picture of a mother holding a baby, to say, oh, look, black people with their mother with a baby. That's cool, but that's not the only way you can tell the story or tell the history of a culture. Right. So that's just why art, so important.
That's cool, man. I appreciate that. You didn't realize that you had all that in you to give to the people, did you? And
I can't believe I've been on this thing for 56 minutes.
Exactly. Oh, you can see the time? So here we go, man. I appreciate all the information that you gave us, and the knowledge and the history. What can people look forward to? What do you have coming up that people can look forward to after this pandemic?
I gotta, after this, I'm just gonna get the ball back rolling with my exhibitions. I have a cool show by artist Gregory Coats coming up next. You can check him out at Gregory Coats on Instagram. He works with like these brushes. Matter of fact, I'll show you one of his inner tube pieces. He has a couple pieces in the Smithsonian as well. This is a couple. This is one of his pieces here. He does this out of inner tube.
And you said his name is Gregory Coats, right?
Yeah. And we got a real famous person got one of these.
Oh, that's dope. That's my favorite color too.
There it is. Well, it's funny because blue is the color of communication.
Is that Gregory Gregory? Is that Gregory?
You said what?
Is that Gregory Gregory Coats?
Yeah, yeah.
Coats?
COATS.
TES?
Yeah, with an E on it. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to put it up so people can go, so people can get that. And that piece though, that blue. What were you saying about the blue piece that went out?
The blue is a color of communication.
Okay.
So like a lot of homes in the South will have blue. I'm just stepping out to my deck. A lot of homes in the South would have blue doors.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you can go over there and talk.
Okay. Okay. See, I didn't know.
But yeah, but that's the. Yeah, and he works with this rubber too, because he was like, it's just kind of basically the strength of the people, African American people.
Mm-hmm.
Rubber doesn't burn. I mean, it burn, but it'll burn forever. Like you can't kill it.
Right.
It's also, it deals with inner tubes just as a metaphor for life. It's like your first sense of freedom was getting on the bike and riding. So that was when you first had a sense like, hey, I'm an independent person. Look at me go.
Right.
And if you really think back to it, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Because you just feel the wind. You're like, I'm moving. I'm in control of me right now.
Right.
So I don't know, but I'm going to have a show with him coming up next. And then my buddy, Rashawn Rucker, we're going to do him in September. He's an awesome draftsman. So, okay. I don't know, Simeon. I'm just chilling.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to get out there. We've been talking about it for a while, so I'm gonna have to get out there for one of those shows. I'm gonna have to get out there for one of those shows, and just get out to Miami in general. So
you come on out and hang out during Art Basel in December.
Yeah. When is Art Basel again?
It's usually the first weekend in December. Yeah,
because we tried this past December. I was going to come, remember, but we waited too late.
Yeah, it was a great time. You can see, we got a cool video on our Instagram. You can see from the party out there.
So I will be checking it out this year.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Great experience, so it's busy though. You can just come on a regular time too,
All right, man. So I appreciate you, Jumaane, man. I appreciate you taking the time to take us through the gallery and show us the beautiful art and explain it to us. And I really appreciate that history lesson that you gave us about art and how it started and the stories that are told through art and how they use art to tell stories and write history. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure everybody that was watching it, they got a lot from this. And because art is so very important to our culture, to our society, and to us as people, whether you're black, white, or whatever you are, art.
It's important to everybody, But it's like we're so far behind, not so much behind. We're just so new,
right?
That we have to understand that we are the aristocrats. No, for real. Like back in the day, you watch an old movie, like you watch some stuff about Rome or something. They had art, and the people with all the money, the aristocrats, they owned all the art, and they were supporting the artists, and they were commissioning the paintings.
Right.
Well, now, we don't have that kind of structure, but our business leaders, our athletes, our entertainers are just hardworking people, successful. Because people on here now people may not know who they are, but they are very successful, even on every level of that. Because that doesn't mean just money. That just means intellectually sound, people who are who want to move forward. You got to collecting art is our responsibility. If you don't do it, you can't complain about it. You can't come back and say, now you better tell my story right. Like, no, you tell your own story. You pick up the pen, you write it. That's your responsibility.
Somebody said he's cute. How old is he? My cousin Charlotte.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I appreciate that because I'm looking at a crazy person on this phone right now. That must who was that? That was about my mom. My mama. That was my mama. She wrote that.
No, that was actually my cousin Charlotte. She said he's cute. How old is he? She gonna get a whooping.
See, she just.
You know, some women like that. Some women like that rough look, and they like them y'all light skinned guys.
Oh, so now you saying I look rough?
And you light skinned, so it don't matter.
See,
you heard me?
Light and rough. They like a light and rough.
You light skinned, so it don't
light
matter.
And rough.
You get a pass all the
light
time.
And rough, or dark or black and mild.
They say, ooh, girl, he need a haircut. But he light skinned. It's okay.
Simeon, please. I'm in quarantine, bro. Gee,
you good. You good, brother. You good.
You want me to come on here looking like Teddy Riley? He was all dog. Like, man, you know you got a barber up in there.
No, you're good, man. I appreciate you, brother. So yeah, we'll
appreciate you.
We'll be looking forward to what you have coming up. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. I appreciate you being executive producer of the Simeon Henderson Show, because we've been able to touch people and throughout Chicago, Illinois, throughout the world. We have people that tune in from Australia, from St. Martin's. We had some people come in from Africa. So we're getting out there, man. And
this is a good example of what I'm talking about. Because yeah, and this is a good example of what I'm talking about with you. Is because, hey, it may not be the biggest show in the world, but it's going to keep growing. And I know at least there's somewhere that you're going to hear this brother speaking some positive. Now, I don't even like to say it like that, like positive, because it's just real. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's positive because it's real.
Right.
Most times people say positive because they're like, well, the real life is negative. You know, the real life is negative, so you're gonna speak positive. No, I ain't saying that.
Right.
It's the real life is positive, so we just need to hear it. And that's why I like messing with you. And plus, man, you don't give up. You keep moving. So I ain't gotta,
You know, I say you gotta stay consistent and committed and faithful and focused. Get it.
Boom. There it is.
All right, brother. I will definitely.
All right, my brother.
I'll talk to you later, man. I appreciate you, man. And I'll talk to you offline, man. Love you, brother. Keep working hard.
All right, buddy. Throw a filter on this when you repost it, okay?
A filter? Man, get out of here. We love you too.
Love you too, bro. Tell the fam what up. Peace.
All right.
All right.
Everybody, you've been watching this Sip and Savor hour of the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. And that was Jumaane NNamdi. He has a contemporary fine arts gallery in Miami, Florida. He's been doing big things. We got a lot of history about art and learned about some art, saw some good art, some great art, I should say. And I hope you guys got some of those nuggets, and continue to tune into the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. And if you'd like to be on the show, make sure you hit us at the Simeon Henderson Show at gmail.com, or just inbox me and we'll get you going. Big up to Trez and over at Sip and Savor, because this is the Sip and Savor hour, and we want to continue to support our local businesses and our essential workers. And remember, we're all in this together. Let's keep each other lifted up, and we will get it going. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time on the Simeon Henderson Show.